सो हेलो गाइज। अभी तक जो हमने अपना एनसीईआरटी का सेशन, वी हैव सीन दैट द चैप्टर नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4 and chapter number 1 to 3, the three chapter we have completely about this. So today we will discuss about the meaning of the what does mean of the third thing, the season, different season in the India. So in this chapter we'll see that the three term, that is the climate, weather and the season. So let's see the one by one. So here there is two word is given, the one that is the climate and second is the weather. Though both words it look like the same, but there is difference between them. So what is the weather? If I'll say what does mean of the weather it means that the atmospheric the atmospheric status or the atmosphere over an area at a point of time, whereas the climate it means the average of weather condition over a large area over a period of time. So there is two words, the one is that is the climate and the weather. So it means the weather, which is that is the atmospheric status or the atmosphere in at the over an area at a point of time. It means it is the day to day change in atmosphere. It talk about the day to day change in the atmosphere, whereas the climate, that is the average of the weather condition over a large area over a period of time. It means it's roughly around 30 to 35 years average weather condition. It simply means what you see or the what you observe day to day in the some changes in the atmosphere, that is the weather. Whereas over a large period of time, that is roughly the 30 to 35 years on average, what is change in the weather, that is the climate. So what are the elements, the next is the what are the elements of the climate. So if I say how do you know that there is something changes in the atmosphere, so there is the some of the elements like change in the temperature, change in the wind pattern, a change in the atmospheric pressure, or the change in the humidity. So there are the some elements through which you can observe or you can experience that there is something which is changing in the atmosphere, and based on that changes you can observe, you can look in between the difference between the climate and the weather. So th these are the two terms which look like the same, but there is a difference between them. So here you can see that the definition of the here you can see that what is the definition of the climate. It is here given that the climate, it refers to the sum total of the weather condition and variation over a large area for a longer period of the time at more than 30 years. It means there is something which is changes in the weather in the changes in the weather in over 30 to 35 years on average, that is the climate. But if you see the different, what is the weather, it means the weather is, it is refers to the state of the atmosphere over an area at a point of time, and the element of the weather and the climate, that is the temperature, atmosphere pressure, wind, humidity, and the precipitation. So these are the two words, and I hope now you can understand what is the basic difference between the two. And the next is, that is the, here the one word that is mentioned, what is the season. At the, here is the one that is mentioned, the monsoon. So if I'll say what does meaning of the monsoon, so the monsoon is that, the monsoon, what it comes from a Arabic word, that is the mosim. What is the monsoon? If I'll say what is the monsoon, monsoon is a Arabic word, that is the mosim. It comes from the mosim, that is Arabic word. It means the seasonal reversal of the wind. In the coming topic, we'll understand about the more of the classification and the more of the about the monsoon. So here the two words, that is the weather, what is the difference between the weather, and the second is the climate, and the third is the monsoon. We have seen this. So the Indian climate, if I'll talk about the Indian climate, so the Indian climate, the इंडिया का जो climate है, it is the monsoonal type, the monsoon type. So we in the Asia, in Asia, and the it's roughly part of the South and the Southeast Asia, the region that experience the climate, that is the monsoon of the monsoon. So here there is the seasonal and regional variation, in the precipitation. Here you can also experience. So like that, in the during the month of the summer, if you observe, yeah, you will experience that in the month of the summer, as that at that time the sun is overhead on the northern hemisphere, and due to the presence of the sun, the northern hemisphere region, it experiences the higher temperature, whereas the southern hemisphere, due to the continentality effect, it experiences at a moderate temperature. So during the month of the summer, that in the region of the Thar at the Rajasthan, here the temperature goes up beyond the 50 degrees Celsius, whereas in some region in the Himalayan region, at the height of the 3,000 to 400 meter above the ocean sea level, that at that place the temperature is, it goes down up to the 5 degrees Celsius, or even the minus. So that's the temperature it also experience due to the regional and the due to the regional variation. So here now the next one, that is the season. So what is here, that is, it is given that there is the climatic control. So it is mentioned that the, so the next topic that we'll see, that the factor that affect the climate of the India, that is the factor affecting, what are the factor affecting climate of India. factor affecting the climate of India. So the number one factor which affect the climate of India, that is the latitude. As we have already seen that what does mean of the latitude, it is a latitude. These are what are the latitude? The latitude, it is the uh, a line that it passes through the equator. The line, it is the imaginary line that cut the earth in the middle, known as the equator, and at every degree it comes with a new latitude. So the latitude, if I'll draw the map of the India, so this is the India, so this is our Pyara India. So this is Pyara India. At the in the middle of the India, at the 23 and half degrees latitude, the Tropic of Cancer line passes through. Tropic of Cancer line passes through, and towards the north of the Tropic of Cancer line, this region, it is the subtropical. It is the subtropical region, whereas this region, it is the tropical region. So it's because of that in the tropical region, at its proximity to the equator, here the due to the presence of the high temperature in the areas, that in these areas they experience the high rainfall. They experience the high rainfall or the high temperature, whereas the region that is beyond the Tropic of Cancer, this region experience the low temperature. Why? Because as we know that the sun apparent movement, the sun apparent, जो सन का apparent movement होता है, it is because it is between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Because in a year, the sun, it crosses the equator twice, whereas that it touches the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn once, as the sun's apparent movement in between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, the region that it experiences the more of the temperature. If I'll do, so this is the equator, whereas this is the Tropic of Cancer, that is the 23 and half degree latitude, whereas 0 degree latitude, and this is the 23 and 5 degrees south latitude. So the sun apparent movement, it is between these two regions. Due to the movement of the sun in these two regions, movement of the sun in these two regions, these regions experience the high temperature. These regions experience the high temperature. That's why this region is called as the surplus of heat. So we have seen that how the latitude that it affect the climate, and the next factor that is affecting the climate, it is the next factor affecting the climate, it is the altitude. Altitude, it means the height. As in the lower altitude, here the air density is more, air density is high. If the lower latitude the air density is high, it means more of the temperature in this region. wherein when you'll go up at the height, the air density decreases. When the air density decreases, it means the temperature at the higher altitude it also decreases. So it means at the height it increases, the temperature decreases. That's why you'll experience that though the latitude of both of the two regions is the same, but the temperature of the two region based on the altitude is different. It's because though the latitude of the region it is the same, but at the height, and we move towards a greater height, at that place the air density is low. If the air density is less, so the temperature is also less. That's why in the higher latitude the temperature is less, and that's why this region they experience the cool. So the first factor, that is the latitude, and the second is the altitude, and the third factor that also affect the climate of a region, it is the distance from the sea. Distance from the sea. So if I'll draw the map of India, so this is the map of India. So this is our para India. So, and in India, the both side in India, the presence of the ocean. This is the Arabian Sea, and this is the Bay of Bengal region. So the area near the sea or the water bodies, they experience the moderate climate. Area near the water body, they experience the milder temperature, or because of why? It's because of the continentality effect. Because of the continentality effect. It's because of the continentality effect, the region near the water bodies they experience the continentality effect. It means in this region the temperature it is neither go high and neither go low, because of the presence of the water, as the water that they moderate the temperature near the water bodies. But as we move from the water bodies in the interior part, here that region they experience the high temperature. Whereas the area like that is the Mumbai, Kolkata, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. So here, though this region is present in the tropical belt, but it's because of the water bodies which is present in the both side of the India, they moderate the temperature of that region, and that's why this region they experience the mild temperature compared to the northern hemisphere, or the northern hemisphere of the northern part of the India. So we have seen the how the latitude and altitude and the distance from the sea they experience the they affect the climate of a region. And the third is the fourth is that is the fourth that factor that affect that is the pressure and winds. So the pressure and winds, it also affect the temperature of a region. So how the pressure and the winds, so at the places where there is a high temperature, that region experience the low pressure system, whereas that places where there is the high pressure, the experience, it's because that region they experience the high pressure, it's because of the low temperature. So there is a inversely proportional relationship between that temperature and pressure. It means the region where the temperature is high, the pressure will go down, and the region where the temperature is less, the pressure is high. Like in the region of the like in the month of the summer, as the sun movement it's um, towards the northern hemisphere, so it's because of the sun presence in the northern hemisphere, that region they experience the high temperature, and due to the high temperature, the region the pressure of that region it goes down, and that's why the northern hemisphere in the month of the summer, in the month of the June and July, it experiences the southwest monsoon. So the fourth factor that affect the climate of any region, that is the that is the so we have seen the fourth factor, that is the latitude, longitude, and longitude, and pressure and winds. And the fifth factor, that is the ocean current. So let's see that how the ocean currents they also affect the climate of a country. So if I'll draw the map of the world in, so this is the northern America, and this is the South America. This is the South America continent, and here is the African continent, and this is the so this is the North American continent, and this is the South America continent, and this is the African continent. It is the Australia. It is the Eurasia. It means the Europe and Asia, and this is the India.